everybody, this is Kirosho here. Now then, whenever we left off, Deku, he has just been, well, traumatized as all fuck. As everyone he knows and loves at the circus is dead, along with the writer killing the ringmaster, you should call him. The guy in charge of organizing the circus in the first place. Now then, while that happened, Deku, he is on the highway, riding the bike at 50 to 60 miles an hour, as he is going as fast as possible. He's just thinking that this was crazy and he's not even trying to feel about it. As he looks down at the gas gauge, as he sees a reflection. Half of his face is the rider's, as someone just looks back up at the street, and his arm immediately turns to the right, swerving him out of the way of the car he was just about to collide into. As he immediately just speeds up and goes right past them, basically swerving and actually jerking his way through the lanes. People are just staring at this as Deku just asks exactly what was that. Looking down again, seeing the rider this time. He would just say that he's here to make sure he doesn't die. Besides, you're my only connection to this planet. You die, I die. Wait, so I'm the only thing keeping you around. Yes. So you have to protect me. I don't have to. If I wanted to, I could let you die, then move to the next host that Mephisto wants me to. Besides, you think this is all fun and games and it's easy for you, don't you? No, you think that having this power will make you any better. As Deku would just start yelling, "Shut up." The Ghost Rider would just go on saying that Deku, he is just a young boy. He is older than anything. He's been around to see gods and angels fight. He's been around since Mephisto was cast out of heaven. Longer than your existence on the entire planet. Deku, he's somewhat entranced by this, as he is just making his way back into town. Eventually, he would get into a gas station, refilling the tank and leaving, getting a hotel nearby. As that happens, he would get a room for the night and immediately just walk in. Before he can continue, he realizes one thing. If everything that happened to his dad and the ringmaster, everyone's dead, what's something next? Well, kid, police are going to be looking for you. So I suggest you hide that bike. Or, well, the plate. Right, thank you. As Deku would just run outside and look for the plate. The plate is barely even on the bike. It's scorched to all hell. As Deku would be able to just pull it off and throw away the screws. As he takes the plate back inside, asking the writer how does, he do it. As Deku just staring at the mirror, talking to himself. The writer would just explain to Deku that he's not giving a human access to his power. Just know this. The daytime is your time, while nighttime is my time. To which Deku would just look in the mirror and be in shock. Now, Deku would just say that doesn't make sense. You need to, as the writer disappears. Deku, getting annoyed, would just say that you need to understand. If that's true, then I at least need to get you registered as a quirk. The writer would just pop back up once again, saying that that's not a good idea. Yeah, well, think about it. Someone who was born quirkless, without a registered quirk, suddenly becoming one of the strongest men on the planet, yeah, no one's gonna believe that. It's better to just say that, oh, I found out I had a quirk this way or this way. My dad told me that it's real easy like that. Besides, fuck. As Deku, he would be like this for a couple hours until he finally gets some sleep. As that happens, he would just immediately just be told by the writer that this is a bad idea, as he wakes up somewhere else. This is a different plane of existence. What the? As he sees one simple thing. It's the writer. The writer is fighting somebody. He's fighting a giant man of fire. He can barely even realize what's going on, as he sees the writer just fighting back and holding him at bay. As he would run over, he asks the writer what's going on, as the writer would turn his head staring directly at him, telling the kid that he shouldn't even be here. As Deku tries to help him, he would immediately hop onto this giant thing's back and begin to try and punch at it, and beat into it, as that is somewhat holding it off, getting it distracted from the Ghost Rider and trying to get it to fight against Deku, as the Rider is able to beat it down and keep it away, as it would give up, and Deku would wake up the next day, and or later to the afternoon, as he is covered and drenched in sweat, asking what that was, to which the writer would just explain that was Mephisto. The only reason I'm here is because he can use me as a portal, get into this world. He has no power here, but by tricking your dumbass, I'm a gateway. Meaning you're a gateway. What? Yeah. You lose control of me, I lose control of him. End of the world. As Deku just brings his hands up, covering his face, realizing exactly how much he fucked up. He would just say that that's fine, but listen. As he just turns on the TV to basically drown himself out. He would hear on the news exactly what happened at this carnival. It shows that all these deaths happen, this happened, and even this happened down the roads, along with scorch marks and trails of fire. So whatever this villain did, it was quite bad. Now, Deku, he would just hear that word, villain. I'm not a villain. Yeah, I'm more the villain here, kid. Besides, you're not going to get anywhere just by locking someone up. Best to just take them down and keep them down. Most effective way. Stop most of the demons in hell. What? You don't know, do you, kid? Listen, as he would go on explaining more, Deku getting a rundown on how the writer, he has not just been with Deku. He's been around centuries and been connected to different humans. Most of them being forgotten through history, thanks to Mephisto using his magic. There's even been another Ghost Rider in your generation, or at least recent. What? Yeah. Anyways, he is probably long dead by now. So, as the sun would begin to set, Deku was just watching this. He would just ask the writer, when is he going to leave? To which Deku would just feel this pain. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, as the writer would begin to come out. Deku would just look in the mirror as he runs over, seeing his face begin to melt, and the flesh peel away as he sparks in fire. After that happens, the ghostwriter reaches for the knob of the doorknob on the hotel door. As it melts away, he would just kick it open and hop on the bike, as it begins to morph and turn into a demonic-looking piece of machinery. Now, the rider would immediately just put up the kickstand as he drives away, beginning his nightly feast, as he punishes the guilty, sparing the innocent. Now then, a couple days later, Deku, he has been able to buy some stuff from an actual good store, or just some old retail store. He was able to buy an actual laptop, an actual phone, and get some things sorted out, along with giving a call to Hagakuri's dad's phone number, as whenever it rang, he picked it up, being surprised to hear Deku, as he would have put the phone on speaker and began talking with him. Hagakure would have asked exactly where is he and what happened, to which he would try and give an explanation while leaving the ghostwriter out, to which they would just understand, but Deku would have to explain that he thinks he found out he has a quirk. He doesn't know what happened to him, but, well, it just popped up. And that writer guy, he's crazy. You won't believe who he is. Now, before that can even continue, Mr. Hagakure would just say that if he needs help or needs assistance to come by their house. It's been too long. Now, Deku would just say that he'll be fine, but he just wanted to let them know he's okay. He wasn't in that whole disaster. Now then, Deku, we will cut to about a couple months later. He's back in his school, and, well, back in a home. I want to say it's an apartment. Not, well, pretty good. Basically, I want to say like the one he has in Canon, but it's just like a one room, one bedroom apartment. Since, well, the money he has right now, it's a lot. I want to say somewhere around 100 grand. Now then, Deku, he's able to just pay for this and basically keep the money to himself, as he would be able to live like this for a long time. He doesn't really buy any furniture, he just buys what he needs. A bed, a lamp, and food, along with some plates and some bowls, and some silverware. Now, he does that for quite a bit of time until he decides that he needs more stuff. Because a lot of neighbors he has somewhat think that his family's a bit weird, so he decides to just use the money to fill out the house, albeit with some cheap furniture. A dinner table, a couch, an old recliner, and other stuff. As he would also get a TV, actually somewhat turning to a bit of entertainment whenever he can. As one day they were in school, Hagakure would ask Deku exactly what is his new quirk. As Deku would just somewhat nervously laugh and say, well, you know. Now, that is where if I was really good at editing, I would put in a blooper reel of every single time I've seen the ghostwriter kill someone, stab them, or give them the penance stare. But I'm not good at editing, so that's up to your guys' imagination. The usual. Now, she would just ask Deku exactly what is his quirk then. You never really told me. Well, it's just... As one thing would happen. Deku's hand would let him fire, immediately shocking Hakakure, as Deku just brings his hand up and begins to shake it out. He would just say that it's no big deal, it's no big deal. It's just hard to control. Wait, you can... Yeah, that's awesome! As Deku somewhat begins to laugh, very, very nervously, as he has his hand covered. She would ask him if he's okay, and he would just say that he's fine, as he would just pull a glove out of his jacket and begin covering his hand, saying that it should heal in no time. Nothing. He would just walk into the bathroom and close the door, as he begins to say exactly why did you do that. What, don't you want that little beauty to know about your quirk? As you call me. No, yes, but it's just... Well, tell her. Tell her that you're the Ghost Rider of the streets. The boogeyman. The monster. Well, I can't just... Either you need to tell her, or I will reveal myself to her. You have to pick one or the other, kid. I'm tired of you calling me kid. I help you fight against Mephisto. I hope you keep him at bay. Best you can do is let me use your power. Alright. Wait, that's it? Just like that? Oh no, no, you really think I'm gonna let you use me just like that? I'm not some tool, like a quirk. You have to earn my respect. Earn my power. So, what is this? Well, there are some thugs nearby. Beat the hell out of them. And I'll give you control for a minute. Control the entire thing, or just control over the fire? I'm not letting you off the leash just like that. No. Deku, he would just walk outside as it is still lunch, so no one would notice him missing for a minute. As he rounds the corner and sees a pair of thugs harassing a girl. This is where Deku, he would just say, is that them? Yes. Dressed in sin. So what am I supposed to do? Just use the penance stare, or... No. Too obvious. You're trying to stay hidden, aren't you? Well, yeah, but... Listen, just throw a goddamn punch. Alright. As Deku would walk up, getting in the way. He tells the guys to piss off, as one of them will try throwing a punch at Deku. Deku lunging forward, smashing up into the chin and beginning to, basically fight against these three. He does take a few hits and actually does, I want to say, crack one of his ribs, or at least get one bruised, as he also does have a bloody nose and, well, blood in his teeth. So he bit the inside of his cheek. Now, Deku, he would just turn around, asking the girl if she was okay. She would just say yes, as she would just quickly run off. Deku just asking if that was it. Well, a bit better than I thought. So, how do you feel? I don't feel any difference. Really? Well, I suggest checking your teeth. As Deku would bring his hands up into his mouth. He doesn't feel any blood, and his nose isn't broken either. You can heal me? Hellfire. Most potent form of healing. You're fucking with me. No, really wish I wasn't. Now, this is where Deku, he would walk back in as everyone is in class. You just see Deku sitting at his desk as he's trying to focus. People just watch him sitting there with his fingers as he's just snapping, as he's writing stuff down. Someone would just turn around getting Deku's attention as they see him actually sparking fire in his hand. As they would freak out, saying that Deku's using his quirk, and stuff like that. As people would ask to see what it is. Deku showing that he's just throwing around fireballs, and well, that's how he's doing it. Now then, Deku, he would return home, as whenever he is walking there, he would see that police are at the door. So, this is whenever he would realize that he sort of just needs to pass by, as one of them would see him, asking him if he's Izuku Midoriya, to which he would just say yes. Is there a problem? Well, normally no, but we just have some questions we want to ask you. Oh, okay. Now, you were at the carnival, correct? I was. I used to call it home. Okay, well now. We have some questions. Do you know who the writer is? I mean, no. Well, I don't know who he is in person, but I remember seeing him there. The dude was terrifying. Oh, well, I can believe it. It's not every day you see a flaming skeleton man. Yeah, I mean, it's not the only thing I can remember. I remember unlocking my quirk. As Deku saying those words out loud, somewhat make him smile. The officer would just ask exactly what is his quirk, to which he would just snap and at least show a fireball, saying that he has the ability to manipulate fire. Apparently it only happens whenever I'm angry. And as Deku would just look down, basically bringing his head into his hands, saying that day gave me a big reason to be angry. I see. So, your anger made you force manifest. It's rare. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up. Well, if you know who the writer is, as the cop would just hand over a card saying that call this number. They're trying to take him down, and he is going to be a big threat, since he just kills villains. Not just that, some of them have excessive history. What? They are the worst of the worst. I mean, I don't support him, but what he's doing is good. But killing is a bit too much. As Deku would hear that, asking vengeance if he does need to kill. I don't need to. It just makes the job easier. I get it, but let me. As Deku would just feel a knot in his throat, saying that just let me use your abilities tonight. Why? Because I can show you I deserve them. As Deku just has a bit of confidence. He would just say that if he can use his abilities, then you need to let me take the wheel. I can do what you can do, but if it comes to it, you can take over. Deal? And what do I get out of this? How about the next time we see Mephisto, we spit in his face? Now you have my interest, kid. Got guts to do that. Well, you better hold up your end of the bargain. Otherwise, I may just not use my abilities for minutes and leave you vulnerable. Alright, if you're agreeing to this. As the rider would go into the night. This time, however, the casualty rate isn't 100% on all crime. It's only about 25%. Deku causes that big of a casualty rate in one night, yes, out of everyone who dies in one single day. 75% of them are him. That's a lot of people. Now, this is where a man, he would see the Ghost Rider, driving by on the motorcycle, as Deku immediately holds out his hand, grabbing the man by the shirt and pulling him with him. As he just holds him up and tells him to explain himself. The man would begin screaming and panicking as he just says that it's nothing, man. It's just it's just what? Crime? What are you doing here? I don't get enough of this shit. Listen, you let me go, I can tell you everything. As Deku would just drop the man. The man would scurry to his feet as he immediately begins to run away. Deku would just take a sigh as he starts running after him, immediately just getting him and pulling him towards him, asking him exactly what does he know. I could use the penance stare. See your sins. Make you relive that trauma that they feel. No, listen, okay. Just go in there and you'll see it. As Deku would just sock the man across the face, breaking his jaw and knocking him out, dropping him to the ground. Now then. This is whenever Deku would walk into the warehouse, as he sees these people. They're trafficking drugs. Not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna say it. They're trafficking drugs. Now, Deku would see this as everyone would look up to see him. Everyone who's actually working, they immediately begin to run away as the guards immediately just open fire on Deku. Deku would just walk through their bullets, and anytime he can, he would just toss up a wall or just bust through something, getting through and smashing and taking down the villains. As one of them has a smoke quirk. They try doing one thing as they would have grabbed Deku and try throwing him up into the air, as they would smash him upwards into a spike. That is used for a pig. Deku would just turn downwards as he looks at this, looking back at the villain. The villain would just be confused as Deku. He would just bring his hands upwards, grabbing the chain, pulling himself up off of it and ripping it down, out of the concrete. As that happens, the rider would just say that he should take over. I got this. No, you don't. Trust me. As Deku brings up the chain and covers it with hellfire. As that happens, he would just throw it toward the villain, as that doesn't work. Deku would just sigh as the villain begins to laugh. The writer would just tell him to make spirals. Really? Spirals? That's gonna work? Trust me, or you're not using my power. Alright. As Deku would begin moving his hand in spirals, the villain immediately just being taken down, as he's not able to sustain this form in the heat of hellfire, dying in the process. Now, Deku would just think that actually worked, as the Ghost Rider would tell him of course it did. As Deku leaves. As soon as that happens, he would turn to see that cops are on their way. As he would just sit back down on the bike and immediately bring up the kickstand. The cops would tell Deku to stop and to put his hands up, as Deku would do that. He would just ask the rider if he can use the bike like this. Of course I can. Just think about it. Alright, go. As the bike immediately jerks forward and comes to life, popping a wheelie and taking off as fast as possible. As the cops try to chase Deku. Deku riding around the city and people seeing the rider in public. He's not a myth, he is real. The scorch marks are there and everything. Now, Deku would outrun the police, as he would eventually find a way to get hidden. I want to say he would jump off of a pier, or probably just get under a bridge, change and drive out and get far enough away. As heroes and police, heroes would not catch the Ghost Rider. That bike is way too fast whenever it's covered in hellfire and everything. If you guys are wondering how fast it actually is, it can outrun Mjolnir whenever it's in flight. Thor's hammer. That shit is too OP. But now, Deku would eventually outrun the police after a couple hours. He would then return home, as he parks the bike in an alley and walks away from it. as his clothes would go from looking a bit different, well, not a different color, but looking from a different texture to turning back to normal cloth, as he would just walk away. Now then, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.